to win a national championship in my home state, that I got to be a part of a WNBA championship in my home state, play professionally in my home state, and then be the head coach of my home franchise.
What's up, Hoop World fam? Your boy is hitting you with an urgent news flash that has the entire basketball universe on edge. This isn't just about a missed game. This is about the very foundation of the WNBA shaking to its core.
Basketball is, certainly we always want to recognize those whose shoulders that we stand on now, certainly, and those who are trailblazers.
We just got a bombshell update from Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White. And folks, it's not good. Caitlin Clark's injury? It's significantly worse than anyone initially thought. And the ramifications are already sending shockwaves through the league. Get ready, because this is going to be a deep dive into the crisis that could define the WNBA's future. Let's break down this nightmare scenario that has every fan and executive biting their nails. First, we saw Caitlin miss 5 games with a quad injury that kept her out for 3 weeks.
Try to play a little bit better and give yourself as great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
That's when we thought our phenom was back to full strength. Boom. Another injury. This time, it's a nagging left groin strain that's proven to be far more stubborn than anyone anticipated. She's already missed 4 consecutive games, including the Commissioner's Cup final where the Fever surprisingly beat the Lynx without her. A testament to the team's grit, but a massive blow to the event's visibility. And now the gut punch. Caitlin Clark has officially been ruled out for tomorrow's massive clash against the Las Vegas Aces. Coach White has been crystal clear, stating, "My goal has always been the same. I don't want this to be something that lingers, that we come back to too soon. We want to make sure that she is 100% ready to go and that we put her long-term health and wellness at the forefront." Translation, Hoop World. They have no idea when she's coming back, and they are absolutely terrified of making it worse. We're not talking about missing a game or 2 here. We're talking about Clark potentially being sidelined for weeks, maybe even through the All-Star break. For a league that just found its golden goose, this is a 5-alarm fire. And here's where it gets absolutely devastating for the WNBA. The numbers don't lie, folks. They never sugarcoat. Since Clark went down, nationally televised WNBA viewership has plummeted by a staggering 55%. Let that sink in for a moment. More than half of the league's television audience has vanished into thin air the moment Caitlin Clark couldn't lace up her sneakers. The Fever's nationally televised games, once appointment viewing, have crashed by 53%, dropping from an average of 1.81 million viewers with Clark to just 847,000 without her. That's not just a dip, that's a free fall off a cliff. The WNBA is in full-blown panic mode, and rightfully so. They've spent decades trying to build a sustainable fan base. And then along comes Caitlin Clark, single-handedly delivering the kind of viewership numbers that executives only dream about. Now she's gone, and the harsh reality is setting in. Without Clark, the league is back to square one. Games that should be drawing massive crowds are echoing with emptiness. The Commissioner's Cup final, which should have been a marquee event, had to proceed without their biggest star. It's like hosting the Super Bowl without the star quarterback. The physical toll, more than just bad luck.
It's a huge opportunity. Oftentimes as players, you're only seeing things from one perspective, and you get a feel for things on the floor.
Caitlin Clark's groin injury is not an isolated incident. It appears to be the culmination of sustained physical punishment that the WNBA has neglected to address for months. Her performance has significantly declined since her return from the quad injury on June 14th. In her last 3 games, Clark is shooting a dismal 1 for 23 from three-point range, and her overall field goal percentage has dropped to a shocking 27%. Turnovers have surged to nearly 5 per game. These statistics indicate more than just a rough patch. They suggest a player whose physical well-being has been compromised. Her season-low 6 points against Seattle, a game where her turnovers outnumbered her points for the first time in her career, now appears less like a slump and more like a disregarded warning sign. But it's not just fatigue. Caitlin Clark has faced an alarming pattern of targeting this WNBA season, absorbing an unprecedented 17% of all flagrant fouls committed across the league. This isn't coincidental. Reports suggest a significant portion of these fouls originate from a single team. From Kennedy Carter's blindside hit to the systematic targeting by the Chicago Sky and the eye poke and shove sequence against Connecticut, Clark has endured physical punishment that would have ended careers in previous eras. Despite this, the players responsible have faced minimal consequences, typically receiving only fines or technical fouls. For instance, Marina Maberry, who delivered a devastating body check after Clark was poked in the eye, received only a technical that was later upgraded to a flagrant with no suspension or real repercussions. Real talk, this isn't just physical play. It feels like calculated attempts to injure her. It's demonic and frankly disgusting. And here's the million-dollar question that's eating away at the league's foundation. Why should fans continue to support the WNBA when the players themselves seem to despise their biggest star? The All-Star voting results revealed a shocking truth. Despite receiving over 1.2 million fan votes and leading the league in multiple categories, Clark's own peers ranked her as just the 9th best guard in the league. Dick Vitale didn't mince words, calling it absolutely pure jealousy, and pointing out that Clark has been responsible for chartered flights, salary increases, sold-out crowds, and improved TV ratings. Even LeBron James had to step in and support posts criticizing the way Clark has been treated by her fellow players. The WNBA is in a truly bizarre position where a significant portion of its own talent appears to resent the very person responsible for their surging salaries and newfound fame. It's counterproductive, it's petty, and it needs to stop. The WNBA's wake-up call, a billion-dollar problem. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just about basketball. It's about cultural relevance. When she's on the court, the sport transcends its typical boundaries. Fans camp outside arenas for days just to catch a glimpse of her warming up. Ticket prices soar to astronomical heights because people are willing to pay premium prices to witness greatness. She's not just playing basketball. She's creating moments that people will remember forever. But when she's gone, the magic disappears, and fans are left wondering why they should invest their time and money in a league that seems determined to undermine its own golden goose. Even while injured, Clark continues to be the main attraction. Footage of her signing autographs on the sideline draws more attention than some teams' entire games. Fans still hover around her during warm-ups, hoping to catch a moment with their hero. She's literally sitting on the bench, unable to play, and she's still the most compelling figure in the building. That's not just star power. That's a phenomenon that transcends the sport itself. The league has struck gold with Clark, but they're treating her like fool's gold. Her influence is so immense that economists have estimated her potential economic impact on the WNBA to be as high as $1 billion in 2025 alone, while other teams are struggling to justify their existence. Angel Reese's games reportedly drawing crowds that wouldn't fill a high school gymnasium, in stark contrast to Clark selling out NBA arenas. The brutal reality is that most fans don't care about the other storylines, the other rivalries, or the other stars. The All-Star Game is looming on July 19th in her home city of Indianapolis, and there's genuine concern about whether Clark will be healthy enough to participate. She's been named a captain and received the most fan votes in league history. But what good is that if she's watching from the sidelines? The entire event has been built around her presence. Without Clark, the All-Star Game risks being just another exhibition that casual fans will ignore. The league's biggest promotional opportunity could turn into a massive disappointment. The WNBA needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask themselves some difficult questions. How did they let their most valuable asset become so vulnerable to injury? Why haven't they done more to protect the player who's single-handedly responsible for the league's recent surge in popularity? The answer is simple. They've been too busy trying to promote parity and equality instead of recognizing that some players are simply more valuable than others. Clark isn't just another player. She's the player. She's the reason the WNBA is relevant in mainstream sports conversation. The uncomfortable truth is that the WNBA has a Caitlin Clark problem, but not in the way most people think. The problem isn't that she's too popular or too successful. The problem is that she's exposed how mediocre the rest of the league really is without her unique gravitational pull. When you have one player who can single-handedly transform viewership numbers, attendance figures, and cultural relevance, it highlights just how much the league has been struggling without her. Other players can complain about the attention she receives, but they simply cannot replicate the magic she brings to the court. The stakes couldn't be higher for the WNBA's future. Every game Clark misses is a missed opportunity to build on the momentum she's created. Every empty arena is a reminder that the league's success is built on incredibly shaky ground. If Clark suffers another injury, or if this current injury lingers longer than expected, the league could find itself back in the dark ages of irrelevance. The window of opportunity that Clark has opened might close just as quickly as it appeared. This injury situation serves as a brutal wake-up call for the WNBA. They need to recognize that Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the lifeline that's keeping the league afloat in mainstream consciousness. The jealousy and resentment from her peers need to be addressed because it's counterproductive to the league's growth. Clark has elevated everyone's salaries, improved travel conditions, and brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Instead of celebrating her success, too many players seem determined to tear her down. The bottom line is this: Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's golden ticket, and they're dangerously close to losing it. Her injury is worse than anyone initially thought, and the league's response will determine whether they can maintain the momentum she's created or watch it all crumble. The viewership numbers tell the story better than any commentary could. Without Clark, the WNBA is just another niche sport struggling for relevance. With her, it's appointment television. The league better pray she gets healthy soon, because their future depends on it. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just changing the game, it is the game. And right now, the game is in jeopardy. Hoop World, what do you think? Is the WNBA handling this correctly? Are other players doing enough to support the league's biggest star? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're as worried as I am about the future of the WNBA without Caitlin Clark, smash that like button, subscribe to Hoop World for more in-depth analysis, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Let's keep this conversation going.